And my name is Sana Lee, a senior researcher at STEPI. It is truly my honor to stand here and privileged to serve as MC for the afternoon session. Our afternoon begins with exploration, economic opportunity between industries through AI, strategies for bilateral cooperation between Korea and Canada. This third session brings together expertise from STEPI and the Asia Pacific Foundation of Canada. Our distinguished panel include Yonggi Kim, Associate Research Fellow, STEPI, Jihae Kim, Senior Program Manager, Asia Pacific Foundation of Canada, Akira Igata, Project Lecturer, University of Tokyo, Juyang Kim, Associate Professor KAIST. And now we start to begin. Yonggi Kim, floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. It's an honor to have this kind of opportunity in here. For better understanding of our project, I will explain our previous this kind of some one-point dialogue with the STEPI and the Asia Pacific Foundation of Canada and the Embassy of Canada. So I'm going to show you kind of some pictures. Wow. We have a dialogue at the last July at the Seoul, the Embassy of Canada, Seoul. So at the time, can you see the people in here? The ambassador of Canada and our vice president of the MSIT. And also, the big guy is me, the left side. And the right side, small woman, is Dr. Kim. And another Dr. Kim is also in here, but I cannot find. And so it means that we already have a dialogue. It means that we are a bit different from the previous sessions, actually. Previous sessions is finding some partners to research together. But in these cases, we are going to make a kind of dialogue with another professionals from Korean side and the Canadian side. So this kind of session is composed of the three pillars. First one is comparing with before starting the explanation of the pillars, the important thing is why do we make these kind of things? At that time, due to this kind of dialogue 1.5, what is the meaning of the 1.5? We know that 1 means a public side, and 2 is between private side. 1.5 is between private and public through the think tank. So APF, Asia Pacific Foundation of Canada, and then the Korean side is Science and Technology Policy Institute. So we make some kind of dialogue at the time. So this thing is a composite of the three pillars. The first one is finding a different point of between two countries. The first one is AI governance, and then their policy is a kind of policy alignment with their action plans. The second pillar is the industry structure of the AI industry. It means the Canada has a kind of very good system of the LNG and the nuclear power. So they have kind of some electricity AI infra at the Canada. But in Korea, comparing with the Canada situation, we have a strength point at the kind of the hardware architecture of the semiconductors. So today I bring the Dr. Kim from the HyperAccelerator in here. And the third pillar is this kind of cooperation between Canada and Korea. How does it make a good effect and good? How do we make some expansion at the Indo-Pacific areas? So these three pillars are talking about at the 1.5 dialogue, and we made a lot of some good. It's a little over there. So today, I didn't want to repeat what we did at the last July 1.5 dialogue. Rather than we are going to make another. It's a good suggestion based on what it did. So today's people studying the real session of Korean-Canada session at STEPI Intelligence Dialogue. At the time held on last July 9th. At that time we made this kind of report like this. Canada Republic Korea, track 1.5 dialogue on artificial intelligence, program and the book. But first coming in December, we are going to make this kind of papers, economic opportunities between industry through AI, strategies for bilateral cooperation between Korea and Canada. Is made by the STEPI and the APFC. So, back to our sessions. Good to see you, everybody. Panels. I'm going to introduce our panels to you, to audience. The first panel is Dr. Kim. Already, the senior researcher Sonari is introduced them to the audience, but I want to put a kind of some special point. Why do we have these panels in here? The first panel, the Dr. Kim, is very good at kind of industrial relations and the politics of the global matters, and also work as a senior program manager at the APFC. And as we make a collaboration preparing a 1.5 dialogue of the Korea and Canada side, it means that she has a knowledge of the the Canada side of the AI, the policy and the structure, and their kind of the stories of that place. And then the professor, Akira Igata from the Archestra of the University of Tokyo, he is the well-known economic security professionals, and he gave a lot of help to the STEPI at the kind of the global conference and global symposiums, and so he will help our session more intelligent. And then the panel 3 is Dr. Kim. Dr. Kim is have two jobs. The first one is the professor at the KAIST. In Korea, KAIST, you know that the first university except post-tech, and and then he is also the CEO of the AI semiconductor architecture startups, the HyperXL. HyperXL nowadays has got a lot of some renown from this industry side, including Naver and other companies as well. So after this kind of the panel introduction, I'm going to do the question to the panels. Yeah, the first question is, let me think about this kind of situation. Why do we have a 1.5 dialogue at the July? We're back to the question. So, surely someone thinks that this is a kind of very important time to make a collaboration between two countries. So I want to make this kind of question to the all panels. Why is now a pivotal moment for Canada and Korea to deepen AI collaborations? Is it from the Dr. Kim? Could you start it?
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Kim. Before I give my 2 cents, I would like to just quickly do a little self-promotion of our Asia Pacific Foundation of Canada's report that's already out there. So if you do a search on APF Canada and then put AI, you could easily access our background note and our report that sort of summarizes all the findings from the July dialogue. So I would highly recommend that if you take a moment to take a look at that report and the background note. What I'm doing right now at this occasion is really to sort of provide the critical recap of the dialogue. On the pivotal moment, I think right now it is a pivotal moment indeed for Canada and Korea collaboration on AI for kind of three reasons. And I think it's alignment in national strategy and leadership. And the second, I think, is alignment in sort of shared goals and core values. And I think the third one is in this unique complementarities. And I know this came up in the morning sessions a lot. But I think those are sort of the reasons why Canada and Korea, it should be them and now. And just on the national strategy part, as you are well aware, Canada now has its first AI minister, Evan Solomon. Korea now has its Prudential Secretary, Ha Jung-woo. Both countries also have their national AI strategies in place. Korea has their AI Act. in which they want to be number 3 in the world for AI. Canada similarly has they were the first to have a national AI strategy back in 2017, which was upgraded in 2022. And last year they had the Canada, the acronyms always get me, but I think it was the compute strategy. So on the second alignment, I think both countries are keen on AI adoption, commercialization, and innovation. And thirdly, at this point, I think I'm gonna sound like a broken recorder, but the complementarities are really clear. There is a very well-defined AI energy nexus between Canada and Korea, as well as a Canada which is well-founded in its foundational research skills, and South Korea's it brings to the table its wealth of hardware experience, AI chips, namely. I'll just quickly go over some of the policy recommendations that we found on this, which is to really seize the momentum for these two countries. The dialogue found that there really should be a regular policy exchange between the two countries, and a starting point could be that Korea has wonderful STEPI. Canada could start looking into one, something comparable to STEPI. The two countries could both look into joint participation in the Hiroshima AI process, the Canada AI Adoption Initiative, and to really encourage partnership in dual AI technology, which we already have in the defense industry. And the more short-term goal would be to have a 2026 Canada-South Korea AI dialogue, hopefully in Canada this time. Yeah. And also to identify partners on both sides to collaborate on sovereign LLMs, which is a critical issue for both countries at this point, and to compare the success stories from South Korea's outcome-driven and Canada's process-driven AI ecosystem.
Wow.
So I should stop at that.
Yeah, Dr. Kim explained all kinds of matters through my question until 4, actually. So she talked about the very important point of the policy alignment between two countries, and also we are making some initiative and making this kind of things at the kind of more global. Global is an initiative. We make this thing is a more global initiative like the Hiroshima, something like that. And then the most important thing is complementary. Complementary is that we can make some leverage through the collaborations, actually. Some hardware matters with the software matters. I think that it will be explained more precisely is by the Dr. Kim, I think that. So let's go to the Professor Igata. Can you? Yeah.
Sure, thanks. So we just had a big lunch. Some of us are jet lagged. The room is dark, so I know we're nodding off a little bit. So I'll try and keep it lively a little bit. So even though I'm not a Canadian or a Korean, I did actually used to live in British Columbia for a couple of years. Oh. And I really like kimchi, so I think I'm qualified to be on this panel. I really think that it is a pivotal time for us to be engaging in track 1.5 dialogues, because now we're in an era that's so unpredictable, so confusing, that it's easy for a private sector, university, academia, think tank, that does not have access to these confidential information and intelligence that the government actually has a value add that we can give to the government. In a way, in the past, I think the government were a little bit complacent. They listened to our academics or think tankers and read the reports, but they think they know best, right? And usually they are, to be honest. I mean, they are working on a very small amount of area of research, specialty for years on end, so they know more. So sometimes they are able to find some good ideas from the academics or think tankers, but most of the time they use us as reinforming what they were going to do anyways. I think that's changing now, because once again, the things that we're talking about, CETs, they don't know about this. You have to be in the private sector. You have to be doing research and have your own company and so on to know what's really important, which means that we are in the position to actually give the government what's really important. Our colleague from ASPE, David, you talked about how think tank can be a petri dish, and I thought that was a very apt way of saying what we do, right? The government can't risk doing research or taking time in making policies and saying, oh, sorry, this didn't work out. We can. Of course, we have to find funding, but still, I think we are in a position where we can do this easier. In addition to those kind of risk-taking, international coordination is much easier at our level, right? With the government, when you want to talk to someone from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, then you have to talk to the GAC, for example, from the Canadian side. There's all of this stovepiping. You can't talk to the Defense Ministry or Economic Ministry or Intel ministries. We can talk to anyone. So in that sense, having international collaborations, having track 2 and track 1.5 dialogues gives the government of both of our countries some intelligence that they do not have that they really want. So in that sense, once again, I think now is the time that we should be having more of these kind of dialogues.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Igata, Professor Igata. Is your point of view of the kind of the system between the government and the think tank and the kind of the at the stage of the international collaboration is the think tank role at this kind of some international collaboration between the private sectors and the government sectors, and so I think that that's very important point to make some the ideal type of our kind of some the Korea Canada is collaborations actually. So thank you for your answer. I think that it could be answered. Yeah, thank you. And the Dr. Kim is could you do talking about some more technology specific issues?
Right. So you know, the AI is actually changing the world. AI was there from 1940s, but since the the announcement of the new model called Transformer in Google in 2017, you know, the world is changing from there. The Transformer model has a good characteristics of like having all the internet data, and as the size goes up, its actually intelligence level gets higher as well. And you know, as we all see with the case of ChatGPT, it's like a major thing that changes everything, including our daily life and how businesses are doing. So we all know that the AI will change and it will have a big impact on our life and the businesses. And it actually just started now. You know, we only from the ChatGPT, we only like 3 years, and the big thing will come. We all know that, so that's why we have to prepare for that. And as Yonggi said, the Korea and the Canada has different like expertise, and you know, we have like 2 big powerhouses in AI, US and China. So I think combining our forces together, maybe we can get like the very good third company, the country. So that's why I think it's the pivotal moment now.
Thank you, Dr. Kim. Your point of view is our is a kind of the purpose become the global top 3. There is already 1 and 2 is over there. So it means that we become a global 3. Global 3, we are going to having the collaboration with Canada. Where is Canada? Canada is a global 4. Oh, this is joking. This is joking. Why don't you? Okay. It's a kind of about the governance and about the security matters. I just asking about some kind of the perspective is based on yours and kind of the professional expertise actually. And so let's move to the economic collaborations. So I'm going to the question 2 is what economic opportunities can joint AI initiatives unlock for Canada and Korean industries? So right now can you study from the
Sure.
Dr. Kim?
Again, harking back to the findings from our July dialogue, I think the real takeaway point was energy. AI requires energy. Korea can seek a real source of energy from Canada, which is already becoming a fast exporter of LNG. It's already second largest, I think. has a second largest deposit of enriched uranium, and has a long history of cooperation with Korea on nuclear energy technology, hard water, SMRs. So the AI energy nexus, I think, was just critically important. The second one, I think, sort of going from, say, Korea to Canada, is what Canada could take away from Korea's experience was the success of commercialization, that's rapid, exemplar commercialization, especially for Canada with its focus on MESMEs, or medium, micro, small, medium enterprises. And Canada's also data centers and infrastructure also stands to benefit from Korea's hardware. And lastly, so to go from then to Canada to Korea would be innovation. And we also saw in the case of Cohere, which I think about 2 months ago opened its office in Seoul, Canada's expertise in algorithms and LLMs, combined with Korea's sort of cutting-edge expertise in the memory chips, neuromorphic processors, that would end up having a real synergy effect that would be unprecedented in scale. This would require, of course, a lot of things that we'll talk about later in the challenges part. But again, to run through some of the policy recommendations we found would be to prioritize each other for Canada and Korea for procurement. So it would be promoting Canada's AI solutions to Korea's conglomerates and vice versa, Korea's hardware to Canadian SMEs, and to be supportive of each other in quantum readiness, and to increase demand for AI. Now, it sounds strange to say we need to increase demand for AI, but it was actually a crucial point made in the dialogue that so much has been vertical adoption. We really need horizontal AI adoption.
Yeah.
So I'll just end up on those points.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Kim. Your point of view is very important, actually. Firstly, you said about the AI energy nexus, I think. The AI infra needs less of electricity, so generating the electricity and the source of the electricity is nowadays a big problem among the countries, actually. We are talking about these issues in any places, IEA, OECD, World Bank, any places that's the most important issues. So we call the AI, the developing AI industry in certain countries, it could be very related with the energy security of the countries. So nowadays, this thing is a very big concern to any countries. And so I think that your point of view is very impressive, and thank you. And Professor Igata, could you do that?
Sure. So my answer may not be just about Korea and Canada, but economic security is becoming very important for any countries, including Japan, Korea, and Canada. And I think that as a solution for some of these new economic security challenges, AI can be used as a solution for this. For instance, we all want to have more transparency in supply chains. Private sector knows where it's buying from and where it's selling to, but they don't know about second tier, third tier, fourth tier. Where is your product going after you sold your piece to your counterpart? Or where did your product that you bought actually came from when you go back all the way to raw materials? Well, if you use big data and AI, you can try and connect the dots and see where the high-risk supply chains are. Or take, for instance, protection of critical infrastructure. And this is not just about the Indo-Pacific countries, right? You're seeing all of these threats towards critical infrastructure, toward European countries too, so they need these kind of solutions as well. And you can use AI to better surveil and better identify the vulnerabilities in critical infrastructure, whether that's from the networks to energy to telecommunication to undersea cables, you name it. I'll just say one more example. Disinformation, influence operation. This is becoming much more of a bigger threat, partially because AI is being used by adversaries through Twitter and X and Facebook and all of that, using bots to try and see what type of, antagonistic narratives actually works in certain countries or regions. Well, we can turn that and use AI to defend ourselves as well. So once again, we're facing all of these new challenges due to economic security, but then we can have the solutions using AI, and I think that's where the money is, because not only the private sector wants this, the public sector wants it too.
Oh, thank you for your opinion. Actually, very impressive. Is it AI could be the key of the solving some of the economic security matter. It's not only between the Korea and Canada, but also is we can make a more global perspective of the using AI as a key of the economic security matters. And so, thank you for your opinion. And also, could you, Dr. Kim?
Yeah, so adding from another Dr. Kim's point, I actually...
Me either, Dr. Kim.
All right. Yeah. So I actually don't know that much like macroscopic economics here, but I actually want to start with the kind of small collaboration idea, which is a kind of very energy efficient AI data center. So Canada has like energy sector, and if you actually listen to like NVIDIA's like talk, their single rack, something like this, consumes about like 100 kilowatt per rack. So if you're actually talking about 100 kilowatt, that's a kind of the power consumption of entire small building. And it actually, we need those kind of power only to run a single rack of servers. So that's the power density that we are talking about. So we actually cannot build a kind of small or a medium-sized data center in Seoul and in South Korea, but you guys have like those kind of spaces and the power density there. And we also have like, all the hardware systems, including memory, an AI chip. And I also, start a startup company making very power efficient AI chip for LLM services. So combining these things together, maybe if it can run like medium-sized data center in Canada, and filling up those kind of technological pieces from the Korea and Canada and Japan together, that would be actually fantastic first thing that we can start with.
Green AI.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Kim. Is your very practical opinion. A practical suggestion is to make some the collaboration at the data center. Data center it means some the very important AI infras actually. So nowadays its importance is going to be greater than before actually. So that's very important issues. So the only 30 minutes left is I think that is you can answer very short sentences. Actually, the final question is related with this. Actually, as you know, commonly we always asking about what's the challenge? What's the challenge? Is to make a very great collaborations. But I want to change some questions actually. We are talking about the importance of the timing and what kind of industry opportunity is important between two countries and what is going to be the key of the collaboration. So what do you think about this kind of collaboration? If we make a more perfect and a more practical, what kind of challenge is do we prepare actually, or do we confront this kind of challenges? And so, can you?
I'll try to keep it short.
Keep it short.
So I think, again, complementary-wise, Canada leading in foundation research, Korea with its engineering, the capacity is there, the conditions are ripe. But I think what's been lacking is the willpower and the sort of the mutual recognition that each other would be sort of each other's best future friend. So the mutual recognition, I think, is nascent. Only not because our relationship is nascent. Our relationship has been long-standing, but it's also been overshadowed by our other good ally that we are trying to diversify a little bit. So I think a key point here is really it has to be more than AI. In other words, for Canada and Korea to be collaborators on AI, they actually need to be sort of backpatting each other in other international settings. And it starts with, say, Canada actively helping Korea on the G7, going on G8, maybe G10 accession, to Korea also trying to incorporate Canada into some of the more regional security dialogues. So I think from a more geostrategic point of view, that kind of foundational trust has to it will be a prerequisite for more meaningful progress even on technology cooperation.
Oh, thanks.
Stop there.
Thank you, Dr. Kim. Your point of view is very interesting. We are running out of time. And so, Professor Yagata, could you?
Sure. Staying on that geostrategic point of view, I think that if you look at the democratic countries or the global West countries, U.S. used to be the leader, right? And they were providing all of these public goods, global public goods. Now the U.S. seems to be moving behind, or is now seems to be giving up some of those leadership roles, which means there's going to be a lot of gaps that's going to be left behind. And I think what Canada, Korea, Japan, all of the democratic countries now need to do is to see where that gap is, so that we can take a division of role and try and see where we can fill the gaps, right? That's why these kind of discussions are important. That's why through AI, for instance, if you wanted to have a good AI talent development, all we have to do is send them to the US, MIT, and then have them come back. Perhaps we're no longer in that world anymore. So how are we going to coordinate on talent development, for example? Where are we going to get funding and so on? So once again, I think it's not just about cooperation and competition, but somewhere in between there's coordination. And no matter how different you are in terms of technical development, I think there's always possibility for coordination, and I think that's what we need.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Professor Igata. Your point of view about the coordination is also very interesting and very important to our ideal collaboration is a form, actually. Thank you. Dr. Kim is a...
Yeah. There are many kind of small, big opportunities here and there. But I think the most important thing is to have a good success story. As I mentioned before, collaborating on something specific thing, like a small AI data center, but that's very futuristic or like very technology driven, something like the most energy efficient AI data center in the world, something using like resource disaggregation, those kind of futuristic technologies together, and then make a kind of specific and clear goal, like serving the Canadian AI workloads, something like from Cohere or something, using Korea's hardware systems, and then we make the most energy efficient data center together. Those kind of things are really good to talk. And maybe once we have a good success story, maybe we can advertise more so that everyone can actually recognize they're working together on very futuristic things. So that's my kind of one idea.
Oh, thank you. Your practical idea is always welcome. Very good. Yeah. So I'm the moderator, but I also of this project. So I have some kind of always a curiosity of how to make more practical collaborations, actually. And based on what David said at the first dialogue today, I have a very similar idea with you about that. At the AUKUS, Pillar 2 is composed of the AI at the world field. So the important thing is the interoperability among 3 countries, actually. So it means that kind of standard, kind of privacy laws about the AI is, the data and other matters, or some the kind of data transfer, a kind of a rule, kind of standard is very needed between 2 countries. It means that from the university level until the industry level, it's kind of using and exchanging the information of the privacy things and also the biohealth data. Actually, nowadays, that's the most important thing is that. So the kind of make a rule setting is a most important matter in here. And also, secondly, I want to talk about things and the Mila and the Seoul AI Hub has already collaborations. I think that. And it means that the Quebec researchers and Quebec friend really do work hard. So make a lots of collaboration with the Daejeon City and other places a lot. But also Canadian side also make a collaboration with the MSIT and other places also. But in Korea and also the KATE or some the KIAT also make a lots of the collaborations. But we didn't make alignment. So I just talk about the policy alignment and the collaboration check. It's a check the alignment and making a more is how do I say it? Is it unified? It's kind of united, something like that. It's making more good, is a practical result from this kind of alignment. So I think that this kind of thing is also important. The Dr. Kim and the Professor, you got to have some macro view of the collaborations and the kind of the system and the structure is important. And the CEO redactor game is also giving a kind of the ideas about the rack size and data centers and using Korean chip as a test bed. The kind of things are also very important, and we should find more practical ideas, making a collaboration between two countries. And so only 5 minutes left is I want to get some comment or some the question or some the blame is from the audience. Yeah, Andrew. Mike is coming to Korean.
In Korean or English, right? English is okay. Okay, so yes, my name is Andrew Lim. I work for the Quebec government here in Seoul. I'm the Research Innovation Attaché. And as Dr. Yonggi mentioned, we do have a lot of collaboration with Korea. But the question I want to ask you is, Dr. Yonggi Kim, you did go to Canada last year, August, and you did publish the report on critical emerging technology with Quebec and Canada. You visited Avia, Mila, Serrano. So I just wanted to see what kind of collaboration you'd like to see move forward. For example, we do have Dr. Lee's Langlois here with Avia doing AI impact on society. Perhaps one idea is maybe you guys could work on such joint reports together, but just wanted to have your idea on how you want to move the collaboration forward. Thank you.
Is it comment or question?
Question.
So I'm sorry. I just checked Dr. Lee's face, and I just checked that she left. Everything is okay. So I didn't hear your question well, but I think that I'm sorry for that. But I think that why do I talk about the last closing remark? It means we do a lot of the collaboration is by fragmented collaboration between the sectors, and even in Korea, and Kia tourism, the K tourism, the MSI tourism, including our STEPI with the APFC. So we are going to make the united format or some kind of the united line is checking some kind of the collaboration. How does it going on, and just checking each other is a progress and kind of things. And I think that it's very important. And also before this kind of checking our current status, the most important thing is between the government level, it's a checking kind of some the law actually, so data, something like that. The Canada is, I think there's a GPI. GPI is observatory is in the Quebec, right? And also the Mila, Amy, and the Bacter is a most important AI research institute in the Canada. And most of them is already have a collaboration with in some Korean researchers. And also KAIST and Mila also make a kind of some the collaborative research institute at the Daejeon. But when you talk about the Canada-Korea collaboration, we don't talk about this kind of the previous what we achieved already. And what kind of result came from this kind of collaboration. We should check these kind of things and making some alignment each other. I think that that's very important. I'm going to answer after the session. Yeah. Oh, Pia. Dr. Pia is a.
Thank you very much. I was just intrigued by the fact that so many countries in this, represented in this room are also trying to compete for being for the third spot in the AI race. I've understood that everyone is in favor of more cooperation, but does it also matter that many of us are kind of competing for the third spot?
Any panels? Could you? I think that is your law.
Sure. So, I mean, you look at any areas, not just critical emerging technology, but any industries, and it's not the only number one or number two that wins, right? You have multiple companies competing over different products, different applications, and so on. So I think it's good that we're all competing, right? As long as we're competing fairly. And that's where I think I go back to my statement about how there's coordination in between competition and cooperation, because as long as we're playing by the rules that we agree to, then I think that's okay. We can still compete, but we do it in a fair way so that it's a fair competition. If we start engaging in a very hand-wringing way with the government intervening too much into the private sector, giving too much subsidies and tax breaks and whatnot, or non-tariff barriers and so much, then that becomes a problem. So once again, coordinating on standardization, coordinating on the fair play of the game, but still competing with each other is probably the right balance in trying to make sure that we only work with trusted companies, countries, but we still keep that innovation going.
Yeah. Oh, 20 seconds.
Do I have time?
Yeah, try.
It's a very quick comment that anyone can respond to if they choose. I'm going to propose an X8, which is a new forum it could be 8, it could be 10 countries that are like ourselves, Australia, South Korea, Japan, Canada, UK, anyone who wants to come together in an international forum. I'm going off what Gia was saying about the lack of political will and how do we actually energize that political will. And Yongyi, what you were saying about things like harmonization of data standards, for instance. We could set up a sort of a mini-lateral forum called the X8 that could actually come together and work on some of these things cooperatively rather than just bilaterally, and actually try to make it a rival to, I don't know, the BRICS or, I don't know, one of those other sort of multilateral fora. Just a thought.
Yeah, that's a really great idea, and that's my closing remark. Yeah, I think that the bilateral dialogue, or some the kind of the very small size of the multilateral dialogue, is a very important issue to make some of the collaboration is more practical. And so I think that is the 1.5 dialogue is make our collaboration is more practical, and making a suggestion is more practical to the audiences. So I think that we should make this kind of opportunity to other countries more and more. Thank you today. This is a closing of our Canada session.
Thank you, Young-Ki Kim and all panelists.